we will start with day 3, okay, but then the day 2 session which we had, we all remember, we were stuck with the problem, okay. I mean, I was not able to, create a runtime multiplier along with you in an HTML, if we remember the last session. Don't know if you already have some solution on it ready for me. Otherwise, I would like to take that thing first. Only then can we proceed. Until you know the basics, you just can't rush, to go further. So do you have any solution? That is the first question.
No, Kumar. I have
Okay,
not tried.
okay. Let's just try it on us now. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So here now I will be doing. I'll just write result here. I save it. Let me just open the abc.html in Chrome also. Let's see what happens now to it. Okay, so result is this, and then first number, second number, and let me just Google. What was I searching for? Button in JS. Okay, so it's in W3 schools, HTML DOM button object. Okay. I had to show this example, and I had to show, a simple what you say, very, basic things about how do you comment a JavaScript code, how do you comment an XML code, and so on. Okay, so we should be knowing all those things beforehand when we try to proceed to learn the actual SAP UI5. So it's just that we have actually not, still we have not yet reached SAP UI5. So, okay, I guess we should, I don't know, format, form. Okay, button is like this, and then on click alert, hello world, click me. Let's see if this works. This is the button. What has happened to it? Copy, paste, save, and then I just will reload it. Okay, it says click me. Now the result is different. Perfect. That's what we needed. So on click me, I get a alert hello world. So here I will just write calculate. So that it becomes much better. JavaScript functions, instead of that, we will write simple multiplier. Okay, so first number, second number, and then yeah. So in JavaScript, getting input value in JavaScript. So these are the ways of fetching, or I mean, these are the ways of fetching the values what you put over here in this and in this. Okay. So you see document.get element by ID. This is the way to change it, but I just want dot value. I won't assign what it has, I won't put it as Johnny Bravo, but then I would like to, fetch the value of the first number and the second number. Okay. Page is a bit unresponsive. Please wait for a moment. Okay. So yes, whereas was first number, second number, we will just take this. Okay. Copy. And then here, instead of hello world, I'll paste it. Okay. Instead of my text, the input ID is F name. You see, F name is for
name.
first name. Yeah. Let's see
Yes.
if it comes back in the alert to us when we click on it. Okay. 1, calculate. Nope. There's something. Okay.
Go to the code. I think some
Yeah.
bracket is missing.
Okay. F name dot value and alert.
No, that curly that quote is in on click. There is already in the quote, like before the alert, there is a quote.
Yes. So
Double quote.
this code belongs to this. You see, it should be there.
No. Yes. No. It's ended near to the F name, before the F name.
Okay, got it. So maybe.
So I think you need to put the single quote, or let's try.
Let's see if single quote works. I mean, it usually doesn't. SAP UI5 has its own standards, okay, while single quotes and double quotes. When we will go into that, we'll understand it better. But yeah, you have a fair point. Maybe it's confused between the two. Yes, perfect. Thanks, Pradeep. So yeah, this is one thing. Okay, I'll just copy this. These are the ways of developing. Whatever you want to see, just see it in the alert first, or see it in the debugger, how it comes up. Okay, now I put multiply. Okay, I put a multiply, and then I put L name. That means the second number. I save it. Okay, let's see if it really multiplies. I put 2, I put 3, 23, 2s, I should get 46. Perfect. So we are near. Now all we need to do is bind this to the paragraph demo. Okay, so if you remember in the day 2 PPT, we were trying to bind the text to it. So maybe I just put on click is equal to I put this all into a function, maybe. Yeah, so on click into function. We are near to the results, but not yet on to the results. Okay, so let me put Java JS button on click function. On click event, on click is equal to my function, and then what is in my function is a different thing. Okay, function, my function, here it is. So yeah, I guess this should work now. I'll copy it. I don't need to give anything here. And then please bear with the speed. I'm sorry. Sometimes even I'm irritated. But yeah, that's how laptop, I don't know why it's functioning very slow today. So yes, going here, pasted. So here is the demo. Demo is the paragraph. And I need to put over here X. And my X is nothing but document.element.getID, this value into this value. Okay, and then instead of this, I'll have my function here. That's how they shown, right? So Let me see in the Chrome, how is it? My function. Okay, it's in double quotes. Okay. Save. So now I guess it should work. You see, it's calculating the multiplication and then it's putting it into the demo paragraph. Let's see if it works. Fingers crossed. Okay, 5, 4, calculate. Here we go. So yes. Okay, here is the way. I was trying to say you this only since day one, that on click you will be giving the function, and that function is in the script tag. Okay, it's in the script. So I mean, where x is something that you have declared. Okay, some people also do it like this. Okay, where a is equal to document.getElement by id into f name value. Okay, where as in variable, nothing, no rocket science in that, it's just a plain variable. And then I put this again as where b is equal to this. Okay, and then you here simply write a cross b. Even this should work. So it's up to you, us. Okay, you want to put a plus here. I mean, this multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, you can also give here whether what you want to do. I mean, do you want to a later one? I mean, still advanced calculator you can make plus, minus, divide, and subtract. So again, let's see 4, 6, 24. I guess it should work. I don't know. Huh? Okay, something is wrong. F name dot value this where b x is equal to this. What happened? Yes.
Nothing. I don't see
Okay.
any issue.
Okay. Okay, got it. I got it. Okay. So it's like I didn't. 1 minute, I got it. This scope. Okay, good. This is a very good finding. Okay, that just we
This
had.
should be under the function.
Yes, because you know you are out of scope. That is out of scope. Even where x should be under the function, but I don't know why I mean, we were trying to pass it in the function earlier, right? Now it's different. Let's see, 3, 5, calculate. Here we go. So even, you know, we should understand that the variables should be within the scope of the function. You cannot just declare the variables out of the function, and within function it will be like, I don't know, you know, what's happening. So here we put where x, it was a global variable. Then we put a and b here. At that time, a and b over here took some value that's 4 and 6, but then it didn't reach inside the function. Okay, declaring variable outside, assigning it outside, and then using it inside doesn't work. Declaring outside, assigning inside, and using inside will work. So, you know, first where x was over here, it still worked because you just declared, you didn't assign anything to it. Okay, assignment should be within the scope of the function, otherwise it doesn't understand. So congratulations to us, let's pat our backs. We made a simple multiplier. You know, while learning web coding, these are small achievements. You will, after once you go ahead now, I mean, this will be like nothing for us, but for now it's a big thing because that's something we have achieved. So we should pat our backs that we did it. Okay, now over to, you know, commenting. I guess I have JavaScript. CSS commenting, I won't take it. I mean, it's usually not needed. Okay, CSS commenting, as in if you need a CSS, then only you put. Why would you comment? Or maybe you just remove that block. CSS commenting I'm not taking today. Let's just see HTML and XML. They both are commented in the same way. JavaScript, and what other skill did we talk about? JSON. JSON is again data. So I don't know, JSON can be commented. JSON, it was JavaScript object notification. So I believe JSON commenting is similar to JavaScript commenting only. Okay, let's see. HTML, XML have similar commenting. JavaScript, JSON have similar commenting. Let's see how to comment your code. Okay. Now suppose that I don't want to put, H, let's say I don't want to put this form, or maybe I don't want to put this, I don't have easier one. So let's say I don't want to put what you call this input. Okay. Talking about XML and HTML, put an exclamation, put double slash, double hyphen, and then till you want to keep it commented, again put two double slashes. That's how you comment XML and HTML. Okay. Suppose the block of code is still big. Okay. Then you do it like this. I don't want the entire form. Let's say I don't want the entire form. Here we go. You see, it's becoming in green color, and the same goes for XML. Exclamation, double hyphen, closing tag. Okay, that's the way you comment your XML code or HTML code. Okay, proceeding further, let's see about JavaScript. Okay, suppose that I had the where x here. Okay, I want to put it below. I'm again writing where x here, but I want to comment this. If it's a single line, whether it's JavaScript or JSON, you just use it like this, double slash. But then let's say you want to comment a big block of code, then you put it like this, backslash asterisk, asterisk backslash. You see, this is the way to comment a JS. I mean, there are a few things that I have missed in PPT. Maybe I should put it, and the revised one, I will give it to you. You know, a revised one, I will give it to you. I have missed it. It should be, ideally, it should be here in JavaScript somewhere. Maybe I just review my presentations after this course and I resend to you, okay, the study material. So let's go to day 3. We are good now. Huh? I mean, we are now able to write the code in HTML. We are understanding what JavaScript is. XML understanding is not yet required. We will proceed now slowly into it. So day 3, I don't know what is it about. Maybe it's just about creating your account. It's a self-study kind of thing. I would recommend you go through these steps. Each and every step is there in the PowerPoint presentation. I can explain it how to do, but I really can't do because I'll tell you why. The reasons, I'll tell you the reasons. Let's see what's the agenda, because I am, most of my sessions go unplanned. Okay. Okay, good. So we don't have that, what you call it. We don't have that account creation agenda today. Let's start with SAP UI5 now, finally, So there are 3 things to our agenda today. Number 1, libraries. Number 2, MVC architecture. And number 3, creating your first SAP UI5 app. Let's see. I guess we are already excited, because when you say first UI5 app, I mean, you already created one application in HTML, but then, creating a UI5 app is way up than that. So let me just revise again what we are going to do today. We need to understand libraries. What exactly is library of SAP UI5? What does SAP provides? We need to understand on what architecture or framework does the SAP UI5 modeling works. And then the last is first SAP UI5 app. Since at the first SAP UI5 app, I have tried to keep it very simple. I am not using MVC. Okay, we can't even say that we don't use MVC architecture. I am using MVC architecture, but in a single HTML embossed file, because it's a very first HTML, it's a very first UI5 app. I tried to make it simple for the public. Okay, and you can use this strategy to create, biggest applications. But we should be very strong at JavaScript coding in that case. Okay, so let's start with what it says. Okay. Libraries. There are various JavaScript and CSS libraries. You can use the combination for the application development. SAP UI5 can use these libraries in combination, and they are called as SAP UI5 control libraries. So, the code written, I mean, by SAP is in JS and CSS. It's the libraries. When you call libraries, as in, you have a lot of knowledge. You have a lot of knowledge, but then that knowledge has come from various books, right? So SAP has created that book library. You say you want a button to be seen in blue crystal theme. Okay, the basic button thing. How do you declare a button in JavaScript? How do you declare a button in HTML? All those stuff is done in JS and CSS files. Those JS and CSS files are combined together to form the library of SAP UI5. And then SAP makes it available for us. It makes it available for us to use it freely. There are two types of, that's open UI5 and one is paid one. So for the training purpose and for learning purpose, SAP itself says that you can use their open source portal for free. Okay. Today, when we try to create our first UI5 app, that thing you can do anytime in your life when we proceed further. Okay. Just you need to remember the way of coding. You can create n number of SAP UI5 apps in a single HTML file. But then when you want to go really into MVC architecture, detailed folder type, you need to put the folder structure correctly. You need HANA on demand development kit or the Eclipse, or you need, some tool like SAP MII Workbench, where folder structuring is perfect. I mean, you just can't create that folder on your laptop and you can say that I have created SAP UI5 app. That used to be done earlier. Now SAP has, put its own implications like CORS violation, crossover resource source application. There are many errors that SAP put in that you should, it's like, see, it's simple. They give you the libraries for free, but you use it for commercial purpose. It's not good. Okay, you practice, it's fine. But then you're preparing your own products with it and you're using those libraries, it's not good. So what I mean to say is, let's say I have a C drive on my laptop or I have a D drive on my laptop. I put all the folder structure there. What do you say it? And if I try to host the SAP UI5 app, the perfect word would be hosting. So if I try to host the SAP UI5 app, it used to be earlier, it used to work. Now it doesn't. For that, you need to have HANA on demand web IDE tool or Eclipse, or you need to have SAP MII Workbench, or you need to have some AngularJS. And there are many other websites which, codebin.js. There are many other websites which provide you, what you say, that provide you the service to host the application. For now, I'll be doing it with a single HTML file and slowly I'll proceed to HANA on demand kit. Okay. Now coming back to libraries, common SAP UI5 control libraries are these. Let's learn it. sap.ui.commons. Okay. sap.ui.commons. This is for control fields, buttons, etc. When I say commons, it is for laptop or desktop. sap.m, it is for mobile devices. And sap.ui.table, it is whenever UI comes now, it's for laptop or desktop. Okay, make that thing very clear. A UI library, if you try to use in your application, it may or may not work nicely in a mobile app. But a mobile app will work nicely in mobile as well as on laptop, desktop. So what we recommend as, and also the UI5 geeks, whoever works on the development, they always recommend, please have an habit of using the sap.m libraries. So what happens, what benefit you have with it is, you can deploy it on a mobile phone. You can still work on it on laptop or desktop. Develop it on your personal laptop or desktop, deploy it to the Cloud Foundry, make the .apk file, put it in your mobile, and then you can use it at both places. So it's better to use sap.m because it's compatible for both desktop and mobile, but it's not good always to, use sap.ui.commons and sap.ui.table because it may or may not function correctly in mobile. But again, when you start developing, there are a few constraints that may come on in your life. Okay, that, like, you say m libraries, okay, are, what you say, sometimes it doesn't look good on desktop or laptop. At that time, what do? Simply, you have to use UI. So, it depends on your client, it depends on your customer, what does he wants to see. Okay, so as I have written below, most common libraries, sap.m, these libraries are combined with the other control libraries. Now coming to the model view architecture. So, MVC concept is used to develop UI5 apps. This allows you to develop and make the changes in the applications independently. Now, what do you mean by independently? Having a different model, a different view, and a different controller enables you to quickly change the view, to quickly change the function, and to quickly change the data in it. Okay. Suppose that I have a single HTML file embedded, every UI5 app is embedded on it. And then I just say, I want to change a single button. And then the entire application, you have to put an outage. You can't use this app for some time, that's not done. I want to simply change the text of the button. I should know I need to go to the view. I need to change the text and done. And if you embed everything in a single HTML file, you may end up making errors or mistakes. It is always good to independently change your code. So let's see how it plays a different role in UI development. A model is responsible for managing the data that is in the database or in the backend, or it may be hard-coded data. For training purposes, we'll obviously have the hard-coded data. We don't have any legacy SAP system or backend system from where the data comes. Neither we have something like middleware like SAP MII, wherein we get the data from MII. So for now, we'll keep the model as hard-coded. View is responsible for viewing a button, a table, a chart, whatever you want to see. It's going to be in a view. A controller is used to control the data. So what will happen when I click on the input box? What will happen when I click on the button? Right now we made a JavaScript function, right? That was the controlling effect. Giving a button is view. What to show in that button is data. And what to do on the click of button is control, in simple terms. Okay, let's proceed further. This is what I was talking about. To summarize, you have a MVC, so model view controller. View, it's data. It's either one way or two way. One way, when I say, it just gets the data from the model and it binds it, saying that, hey, these are my 4 buttons. It should have these text: calculate 1, calculate 2, calculate 3, calculate 4. That calculate 1, 2, 3, 4 is written in a model. Okay, so simply getting that function, getting the data from that model and binding it here, the values, it's known as one-way binding. But then sometimes when you click on it, you need to update something on screen. That's two-way binding. Okay, back way. Then that's all about MV. Now let's go to C, view and controller. What happens? View notifies to controller if some action has happened, and controller in return modifies the view. Maybe it modifies or something else. Like just now we saw, when you click on the button, there is an action going to the controller, the function, my function. Then what do you have to do on the function? You have to change the view value. You need to show that result back, like 15, 3 5s are 15. It fetches and it hits back the view. So it's like modifies. You see, this line states that modifies. What view does, it notifies. What it does is modifies. And then model, what do you do in model? It may either be modify, notify. So sometimes you also need to change model, because all the data you show on view is not hard coded. Sometimes it comes from a model. So that comes under two-way binding. Let's not deep dive into one-way binding, two-way binding now. Let's just have a clean rough idea what MVC is. Slowly we will come to know what binding is, how to bind. Okay, how to start with SAP UI5 code. I guess it's too quick. Let me just tell you different. I mean, I've missed it here. My earlier PPTs used to be very good. What type of models you can have? You can have a JS model, you can have a JSON model, you can have an XML model, and you can have a OData model. These are the 4 types of model which you can have. For training purpose, we will stick to JSON and XML. It's very easy to understand. And OData and the other one, JS, JS, I can still teach, I can still train, but then, those are not commonly used. JSON and XML are commonly used, and OData, I can't do it right now. I mean, OData is something that comes from the backend system or the legacy system, I would say. It's a different format of data. Okay. OData, you use or you don't. In UI5, eventually everything gets converted into OData. When we actually start to develop, we will understand what OData is. So model are of 4 types. You can write it in JS, JSON, XML, and OData. Maybe 2, JS, that's JavaScript, or XML. Again, widely used is languages XML. Okay. Then you have controller. Controller is always in JS. Okay. I hope I'm clear till here. I'll rewrite these things on the whiteboard so that it stays in our session recorded. Let me see if I...
Clear for me, Kumar.
Okay, good. Thanks. So let me just write it here. Otherwise, okay, it will be clear to us. So a model can be written in these particular languages: JS, JSON, XML, OData. Then a view can be a JS or XML. A controller is always a JS. Okay, so these are the methods of you starting to work with UI5. Okay, now let's again go back to our ground. How to start with SAP UI5 code? Create a new folder on your desktop. Okay, or workbench when you say, with any good name like application. Create an HTML file in it and name it as index.html with code as attached below. Okay, the code is given below. Now there are various themes in UI5. I was talking that you can create n number of applications with the link. If you remember, this is that link, which gives you that libraries. Let me see if I can go and show it to you. So when I try to click on this link, that you see SAP-UI-core.js, that is the link for all the libraries where they are stored. Okay, that is the libraries where they are stored. If you try to click on that link, you will get something like this. It's a JavaScript code. Everything and anything is received from this. If you try to read this code, I mean, it will be way too picky. It's just that if you want to know whether the UI5 link is up, this is open UI5 link, right? It's for free for all. Everyone can use it for their development. So before, if you want to really understand why your app is not working in UI5, you need to first check this link. That is it up or not, or is that link out for maintenance? Okay. Sometimes you don't need the version latest is 1.81, which is going on. I believe I had given it in my PowerPoint presentation, but then sometimes I need to go to an older version. So I write it like this: 1.73. It's very slow. Please bear with the speed. Okay, let's not get into versioning. I just mean to say after resources, you can put 1.73/sap.ui.-core.js. Okay. Now this is my new index.html code. Before at least actually starting to just putting it side in a HTML file and running it, I would like that we understand every single step that we have written in it. Okay. So here is my code of SAP UI5. This is not yet fully satisfying the MVC architecture. Let me tell you, we will start that once we have the access to the HANA on-demand web IDE toolkit. That is our day 4 and day 5 session. For now, we are just trying to understand how to write a UI5 code. So what I'm trying to do here is, team, I am trying to put model, view, controller all inside a single HTML file. It is not recommended, but for testing purpose, but for understanding purpose, how will a new baby start to walk? First you try to just put their hands on the somewhere, and you try to balance them, and then they start walking. In a similar way, I'm just trying to explain you first what is it. So to summarize the MVC, before getting into this, I would like to tell you this. whatever changes you want to do in a data, you need to change it in model. Whatever changes you want to do in view, you need to do it in view.xml file. Whatever changes you want to do in function, you need to do it in controller. But to the end user, okay, all this model view controller binds, it forms a core app. And what you say, it's like this. Um, Explaining you, there is a junction station. Okay, we have, like, there are very big stations in India, some railway stations, like where 2 or 3 lines, railway lines meet together. So that is known as junction, right? That junction has access to all the 3 lines. In a similar way, the index.html is the entry point to the model, to the view, and to the controller, all 3. I will explain it in this way. One single entry point to all, but to the end user, you will never say, take this view.xml file. To the end user, you are always going to give index.html or abc.html, or let's say your application name is financial calculators. So you will rename it as financial calculators.html. To the end user, only the link for the HTML file will go. And to the coder, to the developer, he should know the entire folder structure. View, inside view, what you have, inside controller, what you have, inside model, what you have, inside CSS, what you have, and so on. Okay. For now, I'm not going into folder structuring. That's not the agenda for today. Let's try to understand how to create a single, simple SAP UI5 app. I have a doc type HTML. I have an HTML. I have head. I have body. Okay. Head, I have meta. You write XUA compatible and IE Edge. That means your UI5 app should be compatible with all the latest browsers, okay, of the Edge or IE. It should work in that also. This is what you mention here, okay. That's in meta tag. Some coding at HTML level, okay. That's how UI5 recommends it to be written. You have to declare char set as UTF-8 so that it understands HTML and XML standards of UTF-8. Then you have script. Now this script and the below script, there are 2 differences. You may or may not write this script always. I mean, you may, okay. But then this script and this script is different. Of course, script means controlling. Okay, you are declaring something. But then actual controller, when we move forward, maybe at a different place. Its name may be abc.controller.js or abc.controller. Like that. Script. The first script is the standard script which you need to definitely put in your SAP UI5 app. Without that, you cannot. Putting a title is optional. Now, what does this script does? Let's see. You write ID, you give an ID, sap.ui.bootstrap. So this script is the bootstrapping by UI5. What do you mean by bootstrapping? Where to take libraries from, which library to take, and which theme to give, and what are the methods of loading the application. All those declarations are done in the bootstrap. So SRC stands for where is the source of the libraries. This is the same link which I clicked a few moments back. Okay, so this is, if you don't put 1.73 here, it will go to the latest version. If the latest version is not working, go back 1.73, 1.5, and so on. There is a link. You can search on Google how to get the versions of SAP UI5 which are available. Okay. Next is theme. I had mentioned this in PPT that there is a blue crystal, there is golden reflection, platinum, UX, HCD, and so on. The latest one also has Fiori themes. Okay. You can change it here. Okay. Modules, you are taking sap.m library for now. Okay. And then you have the compatible version should be Edge and async. That means each time my data loads, it should not be keeping the old preloaded data. That's what it says. So this script is something, either you mug it up or you have this code with you, it's there in the PowerPoint. You need to have this code with you in place if you are working on a UI5 app. Whether you are following MVC or like today, we are not following MVC today, actually. I mean, not in different folder structures, but yes, we are following MVC. This script, the bootstrap, is compulsory for a person who is starting to code in SAP UI5. Am I clear till here?
Yes, Kumar, clear.
Okay, thank you for the confirmation. We now proceed to the second script. This script is controlling. Okay, this is what you say, the way to make it work in a single HTML. Now you write sap.ui.getCore. You know, what is this getCore? This is what I was talking about. All your model view controller comes to a core. It forms a core application. UI itself, when you are using its library, it creates a core application, and everything and anything is there. Anything and everything, you can get it from the core. Suppose that you have declared a button in a view, it goes to core. Suppose that you have declared a controller, a function in the application, it goes to core. All you need to do is sap.ui.getCore by ID, call this function. sap.ui.getCore by ID, call this view button. You know, it's that simple. We will come to know about what is getCore slowly when we proceed to SAP UI5 coding. For now, let's try to understand what getCore is. It's the core of the entire application. All the things merged there. Okay, this is how I explain it. Now I'm writing it attached in it. Okay, this is a very basic function. UI5 app has, I guess I have mentioned it. Yeah, over here. UI5 app has four life cycle hooks of the functions. Number one, on init. Number two, on before rendering. Number three, on after rendering. Number four, on exit. Let us try to understand what this four means. On init means on the very initial load of the application. On before rendering is when you actually view, I mean, before loading is one thing, and before loading the view is a different thing. Okay, so the button, the placement, the H box, the V box, when the buttons and everything, a table is loaded, that's before rendering. When you start rendering your control to the core app, that is the second lifecycle hook before rendering. Next is after rendering, when all the view things and the controls are in place. After rendering, what you need to do. And then last is on exit. When you simply close your Google Chrome, or when you simply close that application by clicking across, what do you need to do? Now I'll explain you what do you do in all these four lookup and hookup cycles, like life cycle hooks. What do you do? On init, very initial load. What do you do here? There are some variables which you want to keep it global. You want to tell that saying, hey, this is my plant code for the manufacturing. It is going to remain ABCD for the entire application. You know, few declarations of the data, or let's say there is a drop down data which you need to give. What is there in a drop down? Either you will have 4 plants in that, or you have 4, what you call it as, you may have quantity. You may have quantity in that 1 2 3 4 5, how many prints you need. Example I'm giving, and there can be many other examples in a drop down. Or there is year to 2020, 2019, 2018, 20, so on. When you go back, a drop down may have number of data. That data can be put on in it, because on in it works only once on the reload. Why we don't recommend it putting in on after rendering, on before rendering? Because you may render the app again and again. Let's say you are navigating from one page to another, and then coming back, you will see all your data is twice, because you went to a different page and you came. A UI5 app may have number of pages. Let me tell you, when we go deep dive into the coding, you'll understand what a page is, what an application is. So you go to a different page and you come back to the previous page, you are again rendering the previous page. So the function, whatever you have put it in before rendering and after rendering, will be running twice, thrice, and so on whenever you go back to the page and come back. So it's not recommended. The thing that you want to do it once should always be there in on init. Again, putting a big code in on init is not recommended. Let's say you have a huge amount of data, you want to hard code it, and you put it in on init. You try to load your app, the app will become damn slow. So you need to understand this also. Sometimes you need to put some code in on before rendering and on after rendering. And then lastly is on exit. What do you do on exit? Now that's the last question. What do you really do on exit? On exit, you destroy all the models. Let's say I have put a model ABC and I put in it 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an array. Before going, I should destroy the array. What happens if you don't? I've written RIP little control. It says rest in peace. All your controls are going to get out from the get core. Your core app is died now. When I say died, anything and everything you want to destroy, you will do it over here. What do you mean by destroy? I'll tell you a simple example. you have not yet closed your session. You're just loading. Okay, on init, you are trying to add a certain fields in your drop down. Let's say you are putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your drop down. You reload the app and you don't, I mean, you miss to destroy that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on exit in your drop down. Again on the reload, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again you reload 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again you reload 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So a good developer, you know, it's simple. You are coming to your desk, you have put a lot of mess over there. Before leaving your desk, clean it. You know, if you don't, on the next time, it's going to be more messy. Okay, so on exit is for that. For now, let's focus on init function. So when I write attach init, it means I am using the on init hook life cycle. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm putting a new sap.m.text, and then in that text I'm writing SAP UI5 is loaded successfully, and then I put it, when I do this text, okay, see, this can be done like this also, huh? Where a text is equal to new this text, okay, and then instead this is done, huh? This text part is done, new sap.m.text. Here you will write abc text dot place at content. So you put it in a variable and later you place it, or you simply here itself you can place it. You know, when it ends, it's one and the same. Now, how do I understand this new sap.m.text? It is to be written in this particular format only. Maybe we have this question, right? Let's just load it first and see how it looks like. I've saved it. I forgot to mention about this content. Huh? What's this content? Let me just close this library. It's very slow. This content is nothing but the ID of my body. Okay, you putting a class to it, that's SAP UI body, and you are giving it an ID content. I can give any other ID, ID ABC, ID 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. The same ID I need to put it here. It simply means my HTML body has a certain ID content, and then my UI5 contents, I'm putting it at that content. Now I'm just putting a simple text, but you can put your entire application, you can put your entire page, you can put number of pages, you can put it in a shell and put it at the content. You know, it's that way. Right now, for example purpose, I'm explaining you a simple text. So what we done all today, we learned the bootstrapping. Where do you need to take the libraries from? What is the theme you need to use? What type of library you want? What are the functions you need to use for making it compatible for all the browsers? Then we used a script tag to attach init to go into the on init lifecycle hook. That on init, dude, create a text. What do you want to put it in that text? SAP UI5 is loaded successfully. And then that text you need to place at the content. What is content? It is the body of your HTML. So this dot place at statement, that is very important. It itself says, you know, I have used attachment here, but when we really go into coding, I will put an application here, and then entire application may be lying in the various different folders. It may not be in a single HTML file. It may be in different folders. You're trying to access all the folders. Now it's now team, the coding is going difficult and difficult, and we need to focus nicely. So it may happen that we are accessing it from various folders. So the dot place at statement is putting it everything at the core. Let's see what is happening when I try to load it. My app, this was the old code. It says SAP UI file is loaded successfully. I don't know why it's not in low color. I want it in low color. Maybe it's still loading. It's in low. Okay, now let me just change the theme and show it to you. I remember Fiori 3. It's gray color, grayish black. And there are a few themes which you really don't like. Golden reflection is like it irritates your eyes. So be cautious while using the themes. The most commonly used is Blue Crystal and Fiori 3. Others, it's choice. Yeah, it's choice. Let's see what we have other. HCB, high contrast. So this is it. That's it. That's how it is. A very white and grayish theme. Let's see HCB. high contrast background. Let's see what it does. No effect. Am I putting it at CB? Guess I need to put it in small. The black color. And then last is golden reflection, gold reflection. Okay, let's see how gold reflection works. Okay, I guess gold reflection I don't like, or HCB I don't like. There was one of them which I didn't like. Yeah, gold reflection is still fine. You see, somewhat golden color is coming. It's not pure white, somewhat golden. Okay, this is how you create SAP UI5 app. Now, I won't stretch it much today. I guess we are running short of time. How to write it properly, sap.m.text. What is this new? What do you put it in text? You know, all these things will be taken in the later sessions. For now, enjoy this running this first UI5 application on your desktops. I request you again, please, please, please practice. You have handouts with you. Now the coding is becoming very difficult. We are still running on to, running it in a single HTML file. When we run into different folders, view at different place, controller at different place, model at different place, our head will be spinning. At that time we should not be in a situation that we are not understanding what basics are. Please get your basics clear. These 3 days of session were all about basic. Now you have learned to create a very basic SAP UI5 application in a single HTML file. What's pending is MVC architecture and creating the whole application. That's our next agenda. Okay, let me just stop sharing and stop the recording, so that if we have any doubts, we can